Hello, all of you. Good morning. I was reminded of the Hávamál, and I thought I would give it a go. Have thy eyes about thee when thou enterest. Be wary alway. Be watchful alway. For one never knoweth when need will be to meet hidden foe in the hall. All hail to the givers! A guest hath come. Say, where shall he sit? In haste is he to the hall who cometh to find a place by the fire. The warmth seeketh who hath wandered long, and is numb about his knees. Meat and dry clothes the man needeth over the fells who hath fared. A drink needeth to full dishes who cometh, a towel and the prayer to partake. Good bearing eke to be well like, to be bidden to the banquet again. Of his wit hath need, who widely fareth, a dull wit will do at home. A laughing stock he who lacketh words among smart wits when he sits. To be bright of brain let no man boast, but take good heed of his tongue. And the sage and silent come seldom to grief, as they fare among folk in the hall. For faithful friend findest thou never than a shrewd head on thy shoulders. The wary guest to assail who comes, listens that he may learn. Open his ears, cast his eyes about, towards him the wise man gaineth harm. I apologize, I'll redo that one. The wary guest to assail who comes, listens that he may learn. Opens his ears, casts his eyes about, thus wards him the wise gainst harm. Happy is he who hath won him the love and liking of all, for hard it is one's help to seek from the mind of another man. Happy is he who hath won him both winning ways and wisdom, for ill-led is oft who asketh help from the wit of words of another. Better burden bearest thou nowise than shrewd head on thy shoulders. In good stead will it stand among stranger folk, and shield when unsheltered thou art. Better burden bearest thou nowise than shrewd head on thy shoulders. With worser food farest thou never than an overmuch of mead. For good is not, the good is it thought, mead for the sons of men. The deeper he drinks, the dimmer grows the mind of many a man. The heron of heedlessness hovers o'er the feast, and stealeth the minds of men. With that foul feathers fettered I was when I was Gunnloth's guest. Drunk I became, dead drunk forsooth, when I was with wise Fjallar. That bout is best, from which back fetches each man his mind full clear. Let a king's offspring be sparing in words, and bold in battle. Glad and wholesome the hero be, till comes his dying day. The unwise man thinks that I will live, if from... The unwise man thinks that he will live, if from fighting he flees. But the ails and aches of old age dog him, though the spears have spared him. The fool but gapes when to folks he comes, he mumbles and mopes. Soon is seen when his swill he had, what the mind of the man is like. Only he is aware who hath wandered much, and far hath been afield. What manner of man be he whom he meets, if himself be not wanting in wit? The cup spurn not, yet be sparing withal. Say what is needful or naught, for ill breeding upbraids thee no man, if soon thou goest to sleep. The greedy guest gainsays his head, and eats until he is ill. His belly oft maketh a butt of a man, on bench midst the sage when he sits. The herd do know when home they shall, and gang from the grass to their stalls, but the unwise man will not ever learn how much his maw will hold. The ill-minded man who meanly thinks fleers at both foul and fair. He does not know as he know or he ought, that he is not free from flaws. The unwise man waketh all at night, thinking of this and that, tosses sleepless, and is tired at morn, nor lighter for that his load. The unwise man weens that all who laugh with him like him too, nor sees their scorn, though they sneer at him on bench midst the sage when he sits. The unwise man weens that all that laugh with him like him too, but then he finds when to the thing he comes, few spokesmen to speed to his cause. The unwise man weens that he knows all, if from harm he is far at home, but knows not ever what answer to make when others ask him aught. The unwise man among others who comes, let him be sparing of speech, for no one knows that naught is in him, but he open his mouth too much. Clever is he who is keen to ask, and eke to answer all men. 'Tis hard to hide from the hearing of men what is on everyone's lip. Much at random oft rambles he, whose tongue does ever tattle. A talker's tongue, unless tamed it be, will often work him to woe. No mock make thou of any man, though thou comest among kinsmen. He knowing weans him whom no one has asked, and dry-shod hies him home. A wise man he who hies him betimes from the man who likes to mock, but at table who teases can never tell what foe he might have to fight. Many a man means no ill, yet teases the other at table. Life will ever start among men when guest clashes with guest. An early meal a man should get him, lest famished he come to the feast. He sits and stuffs as though starved he were, and naught he says to his neighbours. The false friend a fair way, 'tis though his roof be rid by the road. The staunch friend a straight way leads, though far he hath fared from thee. Get thee gone betimes, a guest should not stay too long in one stead. Leaf grows loath if too long one sits on bench, though in he was bidden. One's home is best, though a hut it be. There a man is master and lord, though it be 2 goats' thigh and a thatched roof. 'Tis far better than beg. One's home is best, though a hut it be. There the man is master and lord. His heart doth bleed who has to beg the meat for his every meal. From his weapons away, no one should ever stir one step on the field, for no one knows when need might have on a sudden a man of his sword. So free-handed never found I a man, but would gladly take what was given, nor of his goods so ungrudging ever to forego what is given him. Of his worldly goods, which he gotten hath, let no man not stint overmuch. Oft is lavished on foe what for friend was saved, for matters go often amiss. With weapons and weeds shall friends be won, as one can see in themselves. Those who give to each other will be friends once they meet halfway. With his friend a man should be friends ever, and pay back gift for gift, laughter for laughter. He learned to give, and eke leasing for lies. With his friends a man should be friends ever, with him and the friend of his friend. But foeman's friend befriend thou never, and keep thee aloof from his kin. If friend thou hast, whom faithful thou deemest, and wishest to win him for thee, open thy heart to him, nor withhold thy gifts, and fare to find him often. If another there be whom ill thou trustest, yet wouldst get from him gain, speak fair to him, though false thou meanest, pay him leasing for lies. And eke this heed, ill thou trust one, and hollow-hearted his speech, thou shalt laugh with him, and lure him on, and let him have tit for tat. Young was I once, and went alone, and wandering lost my way. When a friend I found, I felt me rich, a man is cheered by man. He who giveth gladly a goodly life leadeth, and seldom hath he sorrow, but the churlish wight is chary of all, and grudgingly parts with his gifts. In the fields as I fared, for fun, I hung my weeds on 2 wooden men. They were reckoned folks when the rags they wore, naked a man is naught. The fir tree dies, and the field that stands shields it bark nor bast. Thus eke the man who by all is shunned, why should he linger in life? Then fire hotter for 5 days burneth love between friends that are false. It dieth down when dawneth the 6th, and all the sweetness turns sour. No great things needs give to a man, bringeth thanks oft a little thing. With half a loaf and a half-drained cup, I won me oft a worthy friend. A little lake hath but little sand, but small the mind of man. Not all men are equally wise, each wight wanteth somewhat. Middling wise every man should be, beware of being too wise. Happiest in life, most likely he who knows not more than is needful. Middling wise every man should be, beware of being too wise. For a man's wise heart is happy seldom, if too great the wisdom he won. Middling wise every man should be, beware of being too wise. His fate let no one beforehand know, who would keep his heart from care. Kindles brand from brand, and burns till all burnt it is. Thus fire is kindled from fire. By the words of his mouth a man is known, but from his dullness a dullard. Betimes must rise who would take another's life and win his wealth. Lying down wolf never got the lamb, nor sleeping wight slew his foe. Betimes must rise who few reaper has, and to see to the work himself. Much will miss in the morn who sleeps, but the brisk the race is half won. Run. What lathsome logs will last him out? A man may reckon aright, and of wood to warm him how much he may want, for many a winter a month. Well groomed and washed wend to the thing, though thy cloths be not the best. Of thy shoes and breeks be not ashamed, and still less of thy steed. With lowered head sweeps to the sea when he comes, the eagle o'er the billowing brine, thus eke a man among a throng who finds but a few to befriend him. Both ask and answer, let everyone who wishes to be deemed wise. Let no one know it, let one know it, nor want none the other. If 3 know, 1,000 will. A wise man will not overweening be, stake too much on his strength. When the mighty are met to match their strength, 'twill be found that this first is no one. Watchful and wary everyone should be, nor put much trust in a friend. The words by one unwarily spoken have undone oft a doughty man. Too late by far to some feasts I came, to others all too soon. The beer was drunk or yet unbrewed, never hits it the hapless one right. Here or there would they have me in, if no meat at the meal I craved, or hung two hams in my good friend's home, after eating one of his own. A bonny fire is a blessing to man, and eke the sight of the sun is hearty health if he holds it well, and to live one's life without shame. All undone is no one, though at death's door he lie. Some with good sons are blessed, some with kinsmen, or with coffers full, some with deeds well done. Better alive than lifeless be, for the quick fall of the cattle, the hearth fire burned for the happy air, outdoors a man dead lay. Fuck me, I'm fucking this up. Better alive than lifeless be, to the quick fall I the cattle. The hearth fire burned, for the happy air, outdoors a dead man lay. May the halt ride a horse, and the handless be herdsman. The deaf man may doubtily fight. A blind man is better than a burned one, aye. Of what gain is a good man dead? To have a son is good, late got though it he be, born when buried his father's stones. Look, apologise. To have a son is good, late got though he be, and born when buried his father. Stones seest thou seldom, set by the roadside, but by kith raised over kinsmen. Two will down one, of tongue is head's bane. A fist I fear beneath every furry coat. Off the night is fain, whose knapsack is full. Close are ship's quarters, fickle on the nights in fall. There's both fair and foul in 5 days' time, still more so than a month. He who knoweth nothing knoweth not either how wealth may warp a man's wit. One hath wealth when wanteth another, though he bear no blame himself. Cattle die and kinsmen die, thyself eke soon wilt die. But fair fame will fade never, I ween, for him who wins it. Cattle die and kinsmen die, thyself eke soon wilt die. One thing I wot will wither never, the doom over each one dead. A full-stocked farm had some farmers' sons. Now they stoop at the beggar's staff. In a twinkling fleeth the trothless wealth. It is the ficklest of friends. The unwise man, once he calls his own wealth or the love of a woman, his overweening waxes, but his wit never. He haughtily hardens his heart. 'Tis readily found when the runes thou ask, made by the mighty gods, known to the holy hosts, and dyed deep red by Othin, that 'tis wise to waste no words. At eve praise the day, when burned down a torch, a wife when wedded, a weapon when tried, ice when over it, and ale when 'tis drunk. Fell wood in the wind, in a fair weather row out to sea, dally with girls in the dark. Day's eyes are many. Choose a shield for shelter, a ship for speed, a sword for keenness, a girl for kissing. By the fire drink ale, skate on the ice, buy a bonny steed, a rusty blade, a bony steed, a rusty blade, feed your horse at home, and your hound in his hutch. A wench's words let no wise man trust, nor trust the troth of a woman. But on a whirling wheel their hearts are shaped, and fickle and fitful their minds. A brittle bow, a burning fire, a gaping wolf, a grunting sow, a croaking crow, a kettle boiling, a rising sea, a rootless tree, a flying dart, a foaming billow, ice one night cold, a coiled up adder, a woman's bed talk, a broken blade, the play of cubs, a kin scion, a sickly calf, a self-willed thrall, smooth words of a witch, warriors flesh slain, thy brother's banesman, though it be on the road, a half-burned house, a speedy horse, worthless the steed if one foot he breaks, so trusting be no one to trust in these. Early sown acres let none ever trust, nor trust his son too soon. Undoes weather the one, and unwisdom the other. List not thy riches on these. The false love of a woman, 'tis like to one riding on ice, with horse unroughshod, a brisk 2-year-old, unbroken withal, or in raging wind, drifting rudderless like the lame outrunning the reindeer on a bare rock. Heed my words now, for I know them both. Men sworn are men to women. We speak most fair, when most false our thoughts, for that wiles the wariest wit. Fairly shall speak, nor spare his gifts. Who will win a woman's love, shall praise the looks of the lovely maid. He who flatters will win the fair. At the loves of a man, to laugh is not meet for anyone ever. The wise doth fall when fools yield not to the lord of a lovely maid. 'Tis not meet for men to mock at what befalls full many. A fair face oft makes fool of the wise, by the mighty lord of love. One's self only knows what is near one's heart. Each reads but himself aright. No sickness seems to sound mind worse than to have lost all liking for life. That saw I well when I sat in the reeds, awaiting the maid I wooed. More than body and soul was the sweet maid to me, yet I worked not my will with her. Billing's daughter on her bed I found, sleeping, the sun-bright maid, a king's crown I crave not to wear, if she let me have her love. At eventide shalt Othin come, if thou wilt win me to wife. Unmeet it were if more than we two know of this naughty thing. Back I went to win her love. I let myself be misled, but I did think, enthralled by love, to work my will with her. When next I came at night time, then all the warriors found I awake, with brands high borne and burning lights. Such the luckless end of my love tryst. Near morn, when I once more did come, the folks were sound asleep, but a bitch I found I, the fair one had, bound fast on her bed. Many a good maid, if you mark it well, is fickle, though fair her word. That I quickly found when the cunning maid I lured to lecherous love. Every taunt and jibe she tried on me, and naught I had of her. Glad in his home, to his guest cheerful, yet shrewd should one be. Wise and weighty be the word of his mouth, if wise he would be thought. A ninny is he who naught can say, for such is the way of the witless. The old Etin I sought, now am I back. In good stead stood me my speech. With many words my wish I wrought in the hall of Sutting's halls. With an auger I there ate my way, through the rots I made me room. Over and under where the Etins pass, thus stead I life and limbs. Gunloth gave me a gold stool upon a draught of the dear-bought mead. An ill reward I heard after left, for her faithful friendship, for her heavy heart. Of the well-bought matter I made good use, to the wise now little is lacking, for Othrorir now up is brought, and won for the lord of all white. Unharmed again had I hardly come out of the Ettin's hall, if Gunloth helped not the good maiden in whose loving arms I lay. The day after the Ettins fared into Har's high hall to ask after Bolver, whether the Asir among or whether by Sutton slain. An oath on ring did Othin swear, how put trust in his troth. Suttung he swindled, and snatched his drink, and Gunnloth he beguiled. 'Tis time to chant on the sage's chair at the well of earth. I saw but said naught, I saw and thought. Listened to Har's lore, of runes I heard men speak, unravelling them at the hall of Har, in the hall of Har, and so I heard them say. Hear thou, Lothfafnir, and heed it well, learn it, 'twill lend thee strength, follow it, 'twill further thee. At night lies not, but to be ready for foe, or to look for a spot to relieve thee. Hear thou, Lothfafnir, and heed it well, learn it, 'twill lend thee strength, follow it, 'twill further thee. In a witch's arms beware of sleeping, linking thy limbs with hers. She will cast her spell that thou carest not to go to meetings where men are gathered. Unmindful of meat and mirthless, thou goest and seekest thy bed in sorrow. Hear thou, Lothfafnir, and heed it well, learn it, 'twill lend thee strength, follow it, 'twill further thee. Beware lest the wedded wife of a man thou lure to love with thee. Hear thou, Lothfafnir, and heed it well, learn it, 'twill lend thee strength, follow it, 'twill further thee. On fell or firth, if to fare thee list, furnish thee well with food. Hear thou, Lothfafnir, and heed it well, learn it, 'twill lend thee strength, follow it, 'twill further thee. Withhold the hardships which happen to thee from the knowledge of knaves, from the knowledge of knaves. For know thou, from knaves thou wilt never have reward for thy good wishes. A man I saw sorely bestead through a wicked woman's words. A baleful tongue did work his bane, though good and unguilty he was. Hear thou, Lothfafnir, and heed it well, learn it, 'twill lend thee strength, follow it, 'twill further thee. If faithful friend thou hast found for thee, then fare thou to find him full oft. Overgrown is soon with tall grass and bush the trail which is trod by no one. Hear thou, Lothfafnir, and heed it well, learn it, lend thee strength, follow it, will further thee. A good man seek thou to gain as thy friend, and learn to make thyself loved. Hear thou, Lothfafnir, and heed it well, learn it, 'twill lend thee strength, follow it, will further thee. The first be not with a friend to break, who was faithful found to thee, for sorrow eateth the soul of him who may not unburden his mind. Hear thou, Lothfafnir, and heed it well, learn it, 'twill lend thee strength, follow it, 'twill further thee. Beware thou of bandying words with an unwise oath. For from evil man not ever wilt thou get reward for good. A good man, though, will gain for thee the love and liking of many. Then love is mingled when a man can say to a bosom friend what burdens him. Few things are worse than fickle mind. No friend he who but speaks thee fair. Hear thou, Lothfafnir, and heed it well. Learn it, will lend thee strength. Follow it, will further thee. Not 3 words shalt with a worse man bandy. Off the better man forbears when the worse man wounds thee. Hear thou, Lothfafnir, and heed it well. Learn it, will lend thee strength. Follow it, will further thee. Neither shoemaker be, nor shaft maker either, but it be for thyself. Let the shoe be ill-shaped, or the shaft not true, and they will wish thee woe. Hear thou, Lothfafnir, and heed it well. Learn it, will lend thee strength, follow it, will further thee. If wrong was done thee, let thy wrong be known, and fall on thy foes straightway. Hear thou, Lothfafnir, and heed it well. Learn it, 'twill lend thee strength. Follow it, 'twill further thee. In ill deeds not ever share, but be thou glad to do good. Hear thou, Lothfafnir, and heed it well. Learn it, 'twill lend thee strength. Follow it, 'twill further thee. Look not ever up when fighting, for mad with fear men then oft grow, lest that warlocks bewitch thee. Hear thou, Lothfafnir, and heed it well. Learn it, twill lend thee strength. Follow it, 'twill further thee. If thee list to gain a good woman's love, and all the bliss there be, thy troth shalt pledge, and truly keep. No one tires of the good he gets. Hear thou, Lothfafnir, and heed it well. Learn it, 'twill lend thee strength. Follow it, 'twill further thee. Be wary of thee, but not wary overmuch. Be most wary of ale and other man's wife, and eke thirdly, lest thieves outwit thee. Hear thou, Lothfafnir, and heed it well. Learn it, 'twill lend thee strength. Follow it, 'twill further thee. Never laugh at or mock or make game of guest or wayfaring wight. Those who sit within the hall oft hardly know of what kin be they who come. No man so flawless, but some faults he has, nor so wicked to be of no worth. Both foul and fair are found among men, blended within their breasts. Hear thou, Lothfafnir, and heed it well. Learn it, will lend thee strength. Follow it, will further thee. At hoary sage sneer thou never. There is sense oft in old men's sores. Oft wisdom cometh out of the withered bag that hangs amongst the hides and dangles amongst the skins, drying under roof with the rennet. Hear thou, Lothfafnir, and heed it well. Learn it, will lend thee strength. Follow it, will further thee. Beshrew not the stranger, nor show him the door, but rather do good to the wretched. That bar must be strong which unbars the door to each and every one. Show the beggar your back, lest, bearing thee grudge, he wish you all manner of mischief. Hear thou, Lothfafnir, and heed it well. Learn it, 'twill lend thee strength. Follow it, and 'twill further thee. When ale thou drinkest, invoke earth's strength, for earth is good 'gainst ale, 'gainst ague, fire, 'gainst straining acorns, 'gainst witchery's steel, 'gainst house strife the elder, 'gainst hate the moon, 'gainst the rabies alum, 'gainst ill luck runes. For earth absorbs the humours all. I wot that I hung on the wind-tossed tree all of nights 9, wounded by spear, bespoken to Othin, bespoken myself to myself, upon that tree of which none telleth from what roots it doth rise. Neither horn they upheld, nor handed me bread. I looked below me. Aloud I cried, caught up the runes, caught them up wailing, thence to the ground fell again. From the son of Bodthorn, Besla's father, I mastered mighty songs 9, and a drink I had of the dearest mead, got from out of Rothrorir. Then began I to grow and gain in insight, to wax eke in wisdom. One verse led on to another verse, one poem led to the other poem. Runes wilt thou find and rightly read, of wondrous weight, of mighty magic, which that died the dread god, which that made the holy hosts, and were etched by Othin. Othin among the Aesir for Alf's Dane, Walin for the dwarfs, Alfsfith among the Ettins, but for earthborn men wrought I some myself. Knowest how to write, knowest how to read, knowest how to stain, know how to understand. knowest how to ask, knowest how to offer, knowest how to supplicate, knowest how to sacrifice. 'Tis better unasked than offered overmuch, for aye doth a gift look for gain. 'Tis better unasked than offered overmuch. Thus did Othin write, ere the earth began, when up he rose in after time. Those spells I know, which spouses of kings wot not, nor earthly wight. Help, one is height, with which holpen thou be, in sorrow and care and sickness. The other I know, which all will need, who leeches list to be. On the bark scratch them of the bowl in the woods, whose bough bends to the east. That third I know, if my need be great, to fetter of foeman fell. I can dull the swords of deadly foes, that nor wiles nor weapons avail. That fourth I know, if foeman hath fettered me hand and foot, I chant the charm and chains to break, so the fetters will fly off my feet, and off my hands the halter. The fifth I know, if from foeman's hand I see a spear sped into the throng. Never so fast it flies, but its flight I can stay, once my eye lights on it. That sixth I know, if me someone wounds with runes on gnarled roots written, of rouses my wrath by reckless speech, in blight shall blast me. As that seventh I know, if o'er sleepers' heads I behold a hall on fire, however bright the blaze I can beat it down. That mighty spell I can speak. That eighth I know, which to all men is needful and good to know. When hatred runs high, heroes among their strife, I can settle full soon. That ninth I know, if need there be, to guard a ship in a gale. The wind I calm and the waves also, and wholly soothe the sea. That 10th I know, if night hags sporting I scan aloft in the sky, I scare them with spells so they scatter abroad, heedless of their hides, heedless of their haunts. That 11th I know, if I am to lead of friends to the fray, under buckler I chant, that briskly they fare. Hail and ho to battle, hail and ho from battle, hail wherever they are. That 12th I know, if on tree I see a hanged one hoisted high, thus I write, and the runes I stain, that down he drops and tells me his tale. That 13th I know, if a thane's son I shall wet with holy water, never will he fail, though the fray be hot, nor sink down wounded by sword. That 14th I know, if the folk I shall sing and say of the gods, Aesir and Alfs know I altogether, of unlearned few have that law. At 14th that know I 15th, which the Hollander sang, the dwarf before Delling's door, gave to the Aesir strength, to Alf's victory, by his song and insight to Othin. That 16th I know, if I seek me some maid, to work my will with her, the white-armed woman's heart I bewitch, and toward me I turn her thoughts. That 17th I know, if the slender maid's love I have and hold her to me, thus I sing to her, and that she hardly will leave me for other man's love. If this law wilt thou, Lothfafnir, if this law wilt thou, Lothfafnir, be unversed forever, and thy will were it, if this wisdom thine, 'tis helpful if heeded, 'tis needful if known. That 18th I know, which to none I will tell, neither maid nor man's wife is best warded, if but one know it. This speak I last of my spells, but only to her in whose arms I lie, or else to my sister also. Now, are Har's sayings spoken in Har's halls, of help to the sons of men, of harm to the sons of Etins. Hail to whoever spoke them, hail to whoever knows them. Gain they who grasp them, happy they who heed them. Oh dear. That wasn't so great, but I gave it a good go. Right guys, take care.